Moving away from the Lions, what were some? I know we talked about a few of the bad picks. Did anybody reach in the first draft and take somebody that were in a place maybe they shouldn't have? One that stands out to me is Derek Harvey at 8.
Derek Harvey,
At the 8th pick seems a little bit early for Derek Harvey. A lot of people projected him maybe down in the mid-teens to late 20 or early 20s. I would have liked to see him personally get drafted to the Lions, but I mean, going at 8 is to Jacksonville. But then again, you see what the Giants did with their defense this year and the way that they were able to rush the pass. If you rush the pass, you're going to be able to win.
You're going to be
games.
successful, yeah.
And so and surprise, surprise, who are most of the picks in the first round? Defensive linemen.
Defensive linemen.
So
I mean, you look at it right here: defensive tackle, D-end, D-tackle, D-end. I mean, all of those in the top 10 right there. It's amazing, but it is a reach.
Yep,
it is definitely a reach. I mean, Jacksonville needed to get faster on defense, especially on the defensive line. When you see them play New England last year, that was the difference between the Giants and the Jaguars right there.
Right.
Jaguars they're that close to being a Super Bowl competitive team. I mean, they got all the pieces set, but they're just that close. And on defense, it was team speed, especially on the line there. They just looked slow. They had no chance. They couldn't get to Tom Brady. If you give Tom Brady time to pass, he's going to burn you. It's that simple. But I don't really like Derek Harvey that much, and
is that because he played a certain team in the bowl game?
You know, I'm okay with that because my boys in blue beat Florida. So, anyways, but I just don't. I think he takes plays off, and not only plays, but I think he takes games off, and I don't like that. And I think the Jaguars showed that either they're real weak at the end, or maybe they have some questions about their own pick because in the second round, here comes another D-end. So, right. I don't know. I don't really understand it, but hey, I'm a professional.
Being from Michigan, let's talk about a couple of the local athletes from Michigan State who were drafted, and where you think that they will fit in. I like the Devin Thomas of the Redskins. I think that's a great. Obviously, first of all, when you talk about players from Michigan drafted, you have to talk about Jake Long.
Yeah.
So number 1 overall.
Yep.
Very proud. Is he worthy of that number 1 pick?
For team needs, yes. If you need an offensive tackle, if you need a lineman, period, he's the best one out there.
Right.
When we looked at the NFL Combine, he was awesome. He was awesome. His arm length, his size of his hands, all that kind of stuff just blew Joe Thomas right out of the water.
Right.
Last year's number 1 O tackle. Not the 1 overall pick, right? He's number 3, right?
Yes. He had a pretty successful year in Cleveland, too, most would say. So.
Yes. So, you got to look at Jake Long in this situation, and you got a bunch of young quarterbacks over there in Miami. Now, with the rejoined with teammate Chad Henne, taken 56 by Miami. And, they got, what's his name from BYU or whatever from last year. So, I don't know. I feel like they are young at quarterback, and for a young quarterback, you want him to be able to feel pretty confident that left tackle is going to protect you.
Is that Beck, the guy that you were talking about?
Yes.
Yep. So,
good man.
Now you did talk about your Wolverine guys. What about Manningham dropping down into the 6th round, or the 4th round, was it, I believe?
You know what? He dropped. He definitely dropped.
And Arrington barely got drafted in the 7th round, too.
Well, he went 236, but he went to the Saints, and guess who they got late last year, or 2 years ago?
Colson.
Mr. Colson.
Yes,
And watching Arrington in the slot, I enjoyed having Arrington as a wide receiver for my team more than Manningham. He was much more consistent. I think he only dropped 3 or 4 balls all year. Very consistent, good enough speed to play the slot effectively, good enough size. I think he's going to do good there. He could be a good 3 receiver.
And for Michigan State, it's going to be hard for me to say this being a Sparty fan, but two players from Michigan State going to an arch rival of the team that I love in the NFL.
I know. It's horrible.
With you got Kellen Davis going to the Chicago Bears, and then Irvin Baldwin also going to Chicago. That'll be something that is that's going to be interesting to see how they develop there. I like Kellen Davis a lot. You know that I've been talking about him nonstop pretty much for the last 2 years. But I think that he will. I think that he will develop into be one of the premier tight ends in this league. So
absolutely, and I know this is what you're going to say when you look at the Lions' 5th round pick, Jerome Felton, out of Furman. I know. You're going to say we should have taken Kellen Davis.
He was on the board.
Kellen Winslow Davis.
Without the punk attitude of Kellen Winslow.
Exactly. I'm a soldier. I almost agree with you on this. I think Felton fills the needs that the Lions do need.
Does,
I mean, they needed a good guy to run in short yardage. They did with the loss of T.J. Duckett, and of course, no more Schlesinger. I miss that guy.
Who doesn't, though?
Break some more face masks. That's what I say.
Yeah.
But I miss him. But this guy does fill the gap. Even though I would have liked to see Kellen Davis there, he is a superior athlete. Honestly, I don't know why he went in the 5th round. I don't know what was wrong with him.
Well, I mean, you look at tight end is a position that's undervalued in some offenses, but in other offenses, like the West Coast offenses, is very valued pick. So
Yep.
a lot of guys are looking for people to fill that position. So we're gonna take a break. I hope our thoughts about the draft cleared up some stuff. And
Yeah, I'm sure they did.
I know they did. So this is the Craig and Kris Show.